Hello, Oakwood Kinders. Welcome to your very first official math lesson. After today's math lesson, you will be able to tell the difference between 2D and 3D shapes, also called flat versus solid shapes. You'll be able to identify some common 3D shapes and be able to sort some shapes to tell me whether they are flat or solid or 2D or 3D. So we'll get started. As a warm-up, we're going to look at some shapes that you probably were practicing or reviewing, I should say, before we left for spring break. So I'll give you a chance to look and see what they are, and then we'll say them together, and you can whisper to me what you think that last one is, what the next one is. So let's see our pattern. Trapezoid, circle, square. Trapezoid, circle, square. Trapezoid. Did you say circle? If you did, you're right. Trapezoid, circle, square. It is an ABC pattern. Great job. All right, next one. I'll give you a chance to look and see. Watch those shapes. All right, you ready to name them? Triangle, hexagon, trapezoid. Triangle, hexagon, trapezoid. Triangle. What comes next in our pattern? Good job. I think you said the six-sided hexagon. Super job. Yep, hexagon, trapezoid. Great job. Another ABC pattern. How about this one? Ooh, what are these shapes? This one has 4 sides. We like to call it a rhombus, but what's its fancy kindergarten name? Oh, we like to call it a diamond. I gave it away. Silly Mrs. Gibbs. It's a rhombus, right? Rhombus, rhombus, hexagon. Rhombus, rhombus, hexagon. What comes next? Did you say rhombus? I bet you did because you're so smart. This one is an AAB pattern, right? AAB, AAB. Good job. And our last one for warm-up is this one. Can you name? Ready to name all these shapes for me? Circle, triangle, hexagon. Circle, triangle. What comes next? Did you say that six-sided hexagon? I'm sure you did. You're so super smart. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. Super job. So all those shapes that we were just talking about are 2D or flat shapes. And what do I mean by 2D? I mean they have 2 dimensions. When we think of those, like this shape, 4 equal sides, which is a square, we say its length and its width. So that's its 2 dimensions. So 2D shapes all have length and width. Except, of course, if it's a circle or an oval, because then it doesn't have either. But for most shapes, length and width. And like all 2D shapes we've talked about before, we talked about all of kindergarten, it has lines, right? And it has those points where those 2 lines meet. Do you remember what those are called? One is a one is a vertex, and many are vertices. So this one has 4 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4. And also, of course, it has angles. This is a 4, 4, 4, right? It has 4 sides, 4 vertices, and 4 angles, which are corners. Right. So, there's another type of shape that are called 3D shapes, which I mentioned at the beginning. They're also called solid shapes. Now, 3D shapes are a little bit different. This 3D shape is called a cube because it has length and it has width, but it also has depth. It has that one more dimension that makes it solid. It makes it be able to roll or stack or slide, whereas a flat shape like a circle or a hexagon, it can't do those things because it's just flat. But a solid shape has these 3 dimensions, that added one of depth, and that makes it like more solid. Like we can stack them and we can roll them and we can slide them, right? Okay, so we're going to watch a short video about some 3D shapes, which you may already know. I'm sure there's some that you recognize, and I'm going to do my best to get you to be able to see it well.
Let's sing about 3-dimensional shapes. No two look the same. We see these 6 shapes everywhere. Let's learn them all by name. Let's start with spheres like the Earth and the Moon, and the Sun in our sky of blue. Balls are spheres that are lots of fun. Oranges and marbles are too. There are 6 sides on each cube you find, and each side is a square. Sugar and blocks can be shaped like cubes, like the ice cube in your glass there. Let's sing about 3-dimensional shapes. No two look the same. We see these 6 shapes everywhere. Let's learn them all by name. Rectangular prisms have 6 sides. I can think of quite a few. Like a shoebox, a train car, a long stick of butter, a brick and a suitcase too. With a circle on the bottom and a point at the top. A cone is a shape you'll see. Party hats and teepees are shaped like cones, and so is a green pine tree. Let's sing about 3-dimensional shapes. No two look the same. We see these 6 shapes everywhere. Let's learn them all by name. Cylinders of circles at each end, like a soup can or paper towel roll. Drinking straws and glasses have cylinder shapes, and so does our school flagpole. What shape has 3 or more triangular sides and a point at the top? Can you guess? A vase can be a square or a different shape. Say a pyramid and I'll say yes. Let's sing about 3-dimensional shapes. No two look the same. We see these 6 shapes everywhere. Now you know them all by name.
Alrighty. So go ahead and tell me what 3D shapes did you hear? On the count of 3, whisper and tell me which shapes you remember that you learned about in that video. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Good. I heard cube, cylinder. I think someone said cone, pyramid. I think I may have even heard rectangular prism. That's amazing. That's a big one to remember. So awesome. Those are some very common 3D or solid shapes. Remember, solid shapes have 3 dimensions, right? They're solid. They can stack, roll, slide, right? So let's see, before we do that, remember how we said the 2D shapes, they have lines and vertices and angles, most of them, except for a circle and an oval. They don't have any sides or any lines, right? But 3D shapes have some things in common too. And the first thing that all 3D shapes have are, well, most, not all, have a face. And you can see there's a little face there, right there, to help us remind it it's a face. And the face of a 3D shape is the flat surface of a solid. And what do we else know is flat? That's right, 2D shapes are flat. So you'll notice the faces of our 3D shapes are actually in the shape of our 2D shapes. Like right here, this rectangular prism, its face is the shape of a, very good, a rectangle. And this 3D shape, a cube, this face right here is in the shape of a 4 equal sides. What is that? Square, exactly. Actually, a cube has 6 faces that are all in the shape of a square. So most solids or 3D shapes have faces, right? Just like 2D shapes, most have lines. Most 3D shapes have edges, which are just up. An edge is a place where 2 faces meet, right? Do you see how this face, and here's another one, I should have drawn a smiley face on there. They meet at that line, which is also called an edge. And finally, just like a lot of our 2D shapes have vertices, or those points, 3D shapes also have vertices as well. It's the corners where those 3 faces meet, or those 3 edges meet. They have vertices. So those are some things that all 3D shapes have in common. Now I know you've been sitting for a long time, so why don't you just go ahead and pause the video for a second, and then go ahead and do 10 jumping jacks and count by tens, and then 5 stretch so highs, and 5 touch your toes. And then come right back. I'm going to keep talking because I'm going to count on you to go ahead and pause the video, but just to get you moving a little bit. All right. Welcome back. I hope you got your sillies out and your shakes, right? You're ready to listen and focus again on Mrs. Gibbs. Now, we watched that video about those shapes, and you told me lots of them, and so we're going to look at real 3D shapes, and I'm going to see if you remember what they're called. Now, this one looks like a ball or a sun. Do you remember what this one is called? Very good. It's a sphere, right? It's a sphere, right? So anything in this shape is a sphere. Notice, does it have any smiley faces on it? No, a sphere doesn't have any faces. All right, and then we have, this shape. Do you remember what this shape is? Give you a hint. Yes. It looks like an ice cream cone, and that is because it is a cone. And look, does it have a face? It does. It has one face, one smiley face here. And remember, our faces are the flat part of the flat. Exactly. Let me get the right definition. The flat surface of a solid shape. So we said that those are in the shape of are in the shape of a 2D shape. So a cone has one face that looks like a, what's this called? Very good, a circle. So this is a cone. Very good. We also have this shape. They said it looks like a toilet paper roll or a jar sometimes, right? It has one face, 2 faces that are also circles, just like the cone. Do you remember what it's called? We just said, right? Did we say it yet? Cylinder. Very good. This is a cylinder. Awesome job. And then we have this. What is this shape? We see this a lot when we're rolling the dice or building with blocks, right? Or opening a present for a birthday, right? This is a whisper. A little bit louder, I can't hear you. Right, very good. This is a cube. And look at all these faces they have, right? And they're all in the shape of, what is this shape? 4 equal sides? Square. Very good. So a cube has 6 faces, right? And they're all in the shape of a square. And kind of like when we take a square and we stretch it out, we get a rectangle. Same thing with this shape. We kind of take a cube and we stretch it out, and that's the hard one to say because its faces, it too, like a cube, has 6 faces, but they are all in the shape of, what is this? 4 sides, 2 short and 2, I should say 2 short and 2 long. Do you remember what this one is? It's super tricky. Oh my gosh, you're so smart. Yes, it's a rectangular prism. How did you get that? You're so smart. Yes, this is a rectangular prism. And the last one I have in here looks like the Egyptian. Very good, the pyramids, right? It looks like a pyramid. It has faces. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 faces that are in the shape of this 3-sided figure. Right, 2 easy triangles. And then at the bottom, its base, that face is in the shape of a what? Good, a square. This is actually called a square pyramid. There's different kinds of pyramids, but this one is a square pyramid. But if you just say pyramid, that's fine. So this is a pyramid. Awesome. So let's review really quick. What was this one? Cylinder. And this one? Sphere. Good job. This one, 6 square faces. Cube. Awesome. What about this one? Right. Not ice cream cone, but it is a cone, right? And our stretched out cube is a rectangular prism. Awesome. And finally, our square pyramid. Awesome job. So smart. All right. I'm going to let you watch another video, because we can find these shapes, these 3D shapes, all around us. So the first video showed us some of those, showed us some places we can find those 3D shapes. But this one is going to give us a little bit more. All right.
I'm a 3D shape expert.
1 second, I forgot. If you want to chair dance in this one, because this is kind of a rap, even if you want to stand up and dance, it's totally okay. I just really want your eyes to be looking at the screen while you're standing up and dancing or doing your chair dance. I would love for you to move, but just make sure that you're focusing, because I'm going to ask you to tell me some things that you saw in the video.
Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. A baseball, the moon, and an orange I have right here are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a sphere. A basketball, the earth, and marbles I have here are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a sphere. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone.
And sing along if you want to.
A soda can, a pencil shaft, and a can of soup would be examples of a cylinder, as you can plainly see. A marker, a glass of milk, and a peanut butter jar are all examples of a cylinder. Yes, I'm sure they are. Here are the 3D shapes that I know. A sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. An ice cube, a cardboard box, and a Christmas present for you are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cube. My little dice, a sugar cube, and blocks that I use are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cube. Here are the 3D shapes that I know: a sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. An ice cream cone, a pencil tip, and a megaphone are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cone. A birthday hat, a traffic cone, or a funnel in my home are all examples of a 3D shape that people call a cone. Here are the 3D shapes that I know: a sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone. A paperweight, Egyptian pyramids, and some tents would be examples of a pyramid, as you can plainly see. Here are the 3D shapes that I know: a sphere, a cylinder, a cube, and a cone.
All right, awesome. So if you were standing up, please come join me and sit down. We're almost done. I'm so proud of you. You have learned so much about 3D shapes already. And now you're going to show me what you know. Because at the beginning I said you'd be able to tell me the difference between 2D and 3D shapes. And you would be able to name some of the new 3D shapes. So, what I want you to do, I don't know if you do this in your class, but in our class, we get on our lily pads, which means we get ready. My goodness, my foot is asleep. We get ready and we get on our lily pads, because if the shape I show you, you're going to tell me its name, and if it is a flat shape, a 2D shape, you're just going to say its name and put your hands on your head so I can see you. But if it's a 3D shape, like so, for example, let me see. This one is a rhombus, right? So you'd say rhombus, right? And then, but if it's a 3D shape, like one of my cubes, you would jump. Watch, you're not going to see me. I'm going to jump up on my lily pads. I'm on my lily pad, and we're going to say cube, right? And you're going to jump up really high. So everybody get on your lily pad. And remember, if it's a 2D flat shape, you're just going to say its name and put your hand on your head. And in the meantime, while you're telling me, after you tell me what to do, if you're going to jump, I'm going to put it on my 2D or 3D shape. I have it all ready to go. So are you ready? We already said this rhombus, right, is a flat shape. So your hands go on your head, right, because it's a 2D flat shape. So ready? Next one. Get on your lily pad. Did you say square? Very good. What about this one? Good hopping. You're right. That is a cylinder. Good job. Triangle. I hope you're back on your lily pad, right? Always come back to your lily pad when you're done. Forgot to tell you that. Good jumping. That was tricky. It is a cone. You got to look to see that curve at the bottom. Kind of looks like a triangle, doesn't it? Good job. Rectangular prism. Nice hopping. Yep. Oval. Super job. I can go faster. You guys are so smart. Good job. Another rhombus. Good jumping. That is a sphere. Good hopping. That's a cube. Circle. Good job. Oh, I'm sorry, circle. You hop higher than a frog. Good job, that's a pyramid. Trapezoid, that's a flat one. Good job, another flat one. That is a rectangle. And finally, our last one, I didn't tell you its name. Good, but I hope you hopped anyways. That is a triangular prism. Good job. So I think you boys and girls did amazing. We did our chart. That's our completed chart. You can see all of our 2D flat shapes versus all of our 3D solid shapes. I'm sorry, I forgot. You can get off your lily pad now. I'm so sorry. Can be sitting crisscross applesauce. We are almost done. So that's our chart again. 2D flat shapes. Our circle, our rectangle, our trapezoid, triangle, oval, 2 rhombuses and a square, and of course our solid shapes. Let's see if you can name them for me. Good. Square pyramid. Don't worry about that one. Cube. Good. Sphere. Ooh, here's a tricky one. Rectangular prism. Awesome. Yep, that's a cylinder. Perfect cone. You're so smart. All right, boys and girls, I've had so much fun working on 3D shapes with you and reviewing 2D shapes. I know you know the difference now. 2D flat shapes, length and width, and 3D length and width and depth. They can roll, they can stack, they can slide, right? Because they have that added dimension. If you still want more, I put some videos, a cool monster truck video in the description you can watch about 3D shapes, and another one. And then I would love, if you have time, go on a 3D shape hunt and make me a picture of all the things that you find, or make me a list of all the 3D shapes that you find. That last video we saw would give you some good ideas. But anyways, I'm so proud of you. Get up, run around before you do your next lesson. I hope you have a great Monday, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye, boys and girls.